everybody, and welcome to the Yinzer Brothers podcast. I am TJ, and I'm here with my brother Tim. And once again, you are in the presence of the Yinzer Bros. Today, the Steelers, Colts, it's the postgame show, and your Pittsburgh Steelers defeated the Indianapolis Colts 28-24. Tim, as you can see, is wearing the Franco's Italian Army hat from the 70s, looking good, looking great. I love the little sign in the back, the T-shirt and hat game, which is what we got today. Mm-hmm. I have to be real. I mean, it wasn't looking good for the Steelers. I was getting kind of bummed out, especially in the first half. I wasn't sure we were going to win another game the rest of the year, Tim. That's where I was at.
TJ, that first half was one of the most depressing first halves I've ever had as a football watcher in my entire life.
Was that even more depressing than the game last week against the Bengals, Tim?
Yeah, because, I'm reading the Twitter machine, and like beforehand, I'm reading all the stuff that Steelers defenses, they're not talking to anybody. They're surly. They're really angry on the sidelines, and I just watch Indianapolis go right down their throats. I go, here we go. And then I watch Ben go 3 and out, and I just go, you're down. You're down with the snap of your fingers. You're going, they might as well just camp it in. You're at home. Camp it in and just be done with it.
It was bad. So this is how depressed I was. Halftime, I took the two boys, went downstairs. We were building one of the Christmas presents. And I said, we're just going to build it down here because that game, there's nothing to see. So I had the game on my phone. Me and my two boys are in the basement, and we start winning. But we can't come upstairs because I'm afraid if we go upstairs, we're going to start losing. So we watched the rest of the game in the basement on a telephone.
You're going to have to do that for next.
I may have to, Tim. I'm willing to take one for the team.
To me, what killed me was one of the, where I was at my all-time low for, in football, before half, and you don't call that timeout to give yourself the extra. That just told me right there that they were like in give-up mode. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. What are you doing? They still could have got points out of that whole entire thing, which just drives me bananas. Yeah, you could have had a minute, and you basically just gave up. I didn't understand it at all.
That was a very bizarre game. But, you got to believe this, though. Indianapolis, they're a quality opponent. They're a playoff team.
Philip, he would infuriate me if he was my quarterback.
He'd drive me crazy. That's Philip. He's not elite. I'm sorry. So let's talk about the game. Let's talk about the offense first. What did you think about the Steelers' offense?
It was a tale of two halves. They were worse that first half than they were in the Cincinnati game in the first half. That's unfathomable. I don't think they had 50 yards total offense in the first half. They had more than that because they threw like those 2 deep passes in the end of the first half. But second half, dude, I've been saying for a while, maybe it is Randy Fichtner. I don't know. Because when Ben's in that no huddle, the offense is completely different. It's different. Yeah. And what happens when you start throwing the ball down the field? Your short game opens right back up, and you're seeing them getting running lanes. When they want to run, they can run because their defense there's not 1,000 people sitting 10 yards from the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. Now you could tell when they started throwing the ball deep, everything opened up. This is a cool stat. So you're looking at all the guys. Ben's spreading the ball around to people, but he was with Juju. Juju had 9 catches for 96 yards, but he had a 25-yarder. Pretty decent. Johnson was 8 catches for 75 yards, had a 39-yarder stretching the field. Claypool, 4 catches, 54 yards, but he had a 34-yarder. Today was the first day I can remember that they were actually hitting the big plays.
Because Ben, at some point this season, Ben has to play like old Ben. He has to hold on to the ball. He's got to take a couple licks. It just has to happen.
He does.
For that offense to kind of do it. It was amazing seeing that offense going in late in the third quarter into the fourth quarter when you're like, oh my God, like their short game's working now too because the defense was so far off the ball because they didn't want to get burned. And Indy has a good defense. I don't understand how you couldn't do that against Cincinnati, how you couldn't do that against Washington, how you couldn't do that against Buffalo. You should have been able to do that. I don't want to hear anybody else tell me that Ben's arm's noodle because he was putting balls on. He threw some lasers today.
He did in the second half. First half, he didn't look sharp to me. He looked like he missed some open guys again.
To me, I don't know if they're not getting enough practice with. I don't know. Fisher sucks, dude. He stinks. He stinks. I, I don't know what else to say. Some of this play calling are just head scratching. You're kind of like, dude, what are you doing? I don't know, but I mean, it still gets me. It was nice seeing them score their first touchdown, even off that turnover that they ran the ball.
It was. I mean, even though Connor had like 5 carries for 20 yards, but it still looked good to me. He broke one that was a kind of a middle one there.
Which didn't understand is like, I mean, is he hurt? Was he hurt more than it was leading?
He doesn't look like he still doesn't look like he's 100%.
Because to me, it was like Benny Snell looked terrible. He looked bad.
He did.
He looked bad. So it was like, to me, it was like, why wasn't Connor? It seemed like Connor wasn't coming in the game until it was like third down, which I was kind of like, where's Connor at? Because when he did touch the ball, he seemed okay. I was
could tell though he was favoring that quad. I think still you can tell he's not 100%. I'll tell you what, this year in the draft, we need to pick us up a running back. We got to pick us up somebody bigger. We got to grab somebody in free agency. Because
number 22 from the Alabama Crimson Tide would look lovely in black and gold.
I agree. But we saw a little bit more of the running game. I mean, we were able to get at least that yard and stuff like that. Who really I've been looking at that really I don't know what to do with is Villanueva.
Oh my God, he's been getting.
He has. He looks awful.
He was getting, and he looks just. He looks
slow. He looks slow.
I saw them show a clip of him on the sideline. Like, he just looks disengaged.
Yeah.
Staring off, and I'm going, dude. I mean, you're getting. I think is he getting to the point where he knows his time's up with the Steelers, and he's just like, eh. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. He was brutal. So was the other dude. The other tackle stunk too, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't until they got in that no huddle where they were kind of like, okay, here we go. But it's just, I still seen the third and ones, especially at the end of the game. That third and one where that was just a horrible call. That sprint out. If you're going to do that, I would rather see you try to just get under center and run the ball.
Yeah, I agree.
What happens when you put your fullback in the game and you run the ball?
Yeah.
They did it on the goal line, and they scored.
Yeah, I agree.
I just don't. It's unfathomable to me.
I agree. I don't understand it. No, I mean, good thing the offense, they were able to put some points up today, which is good. We didn't have to kick, which was good.
That dude terrifies me beyond belief.
Yeah, me too.
He looks like he just came. I think they're lying. Like, I think he looks like he just came off a high school practice squad and was like, "You're kicking today." Like, when he was like kicking extra points, I was holding my breath. I go, "This dude he looks so fragile. Like he's going to kick the ball and just shatter."
He does. So how hurt is Boswell?
I don't know, dude. He better get right. TJ, you want my opinion for next game? There better about to be a whole bunch of dudes they better not even be on the plane or bus, whatever the hell they take to Cleveland.
I can be in that COVID. They should be in a COVID bubble.
They should all be just sitting there they should start getting massages tonight. And it shouldn't stop until whatever that first round playoff game is, dude.
That's great. No, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Hey, let's talk about the defense now. Again, the defense didn't look so great in the first half either. A tale of two halves, right? Like you said.
I mean, they couldn't. TJ, I still don't think they can stop the run.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, at least there was a little bit of a Tuitt sighting today. He looked better than he has looked. But man, it was.
You have to, because dude, you watch that game. Because I had somebody going. One of my buddies texted me, Cam's getting killed. I'm going, dude, he has 4 dudes just on him every play. I'm like, 91 has to do something.
He does.
He has to do something. I mean, Cam was getting double and triple teamed every play. I'm going,
he was.
Where's Tuitt? Tuitt should be, you're getting paid $9 million. You should be murdering people.
He should. You're right. He looked a little bit better. That wasn't too bad. I'll tell you who looked like, obviously Watt is a stud. Regardless, we do miss Dupree, but he had 2 sacks again today. Williamson had 14 tackles.
Something about him I don't like, TJ. I just don't. I don't like him.
Is it his Jets roots, Tim?
TJ, he may have had 14 tackles, but he's making these tackles like 9 yards down the field. But he's getting driven back, and he's like, "Oh, I got a hand on some dude." I know he's making tackles, but I saw him getting annihilated by tight ends. He was getting annihilated by running backs, but he was making tackles. I would be curious to see where if there was a stat to show a linebacker where you make your tackles with accordance to the line of scrimmage. I would love to see it because, dude, TJ, every time I saw him make a tackle, it was like 7 yards downfield. I'm like,
hey, good news.
I don't even know
Spillane. All they got to do is they got to wait one more week, and they should get Spillane back. She should come off IR.
I'd be saying that I can't wait till face Balboa Spillane is back.
I'll tell you what, he's a good ball player for us, man. I can't wait to get him back. And that kid Marsh, that whatever his name is, he was in there too.
I saw him light somebody up on special teams. I go, who is this dude? And then I saw him kind of come in for 56. I go, is that Cassius Clay over there? he was coming around like a speed demon. I was like,
he was.
Like, man, I was like, he came off the list today real quick, and he was already on a list. I never seen him play.
I know. Now where was 92 at today? Was he hurt?
Yeah, he was. He was in a They
was he inactive?
Yeah, I never thought I'd say I missed this metal just indenting my skin. Yeah, he was inactive. I think he had an ankle or something. A Denny.
Yeah, a Denny. And how about this? Highsmith had 8 tackles today.
TJ.
He looked decent today.
Timeout. He looked decent when they brought in that like 5th string tackle.
Hey, we'll take it whatever we get.
That dude Webb sucked. Like, I really think TJ, I think I could have got one pressure. I could have done one of these real quick.
Yeah,
I could have done one of these with my hands. And the guy would have been like,
right.
What happened? I mean, but it does help that you have a dude that's like has cinder blocks on his feet sitting back in the pocket.
That's true.
I mean, Rivers is like a statue. I mean,
he's bad. I still understand this whole elite. He's an elite quarterback. I don't get that.
I mean, dude, he's good. If you protect him, he's gonna pick you apart. But you get a little bit of pressure on him. He's just. But like I said, Williams, number 56. I'm sorry, TJ. In my book, he still stinks. That dude.
He's a rookie. He's a rookie.
I don't care, TJ. I don't care. I don't care. TJ Watt was a rookie at one point too, and that dude was just a monster.
Well, TJ Watt is special, but I mean, I think for Highsmith, I think he's serviceable. Now, is he a Bud Dupree? No, he's not a Bud Dupree. You miss Bud, don't you, Tim?
Yeah, I do miss Bud.
You miss Bud the stud. You miss him. I miss him too. He was a force out there. I mean, so the defense, it's a tale of 2 halves. First half,
you know who
couldn't stop anybody.
I would give all the monies to besides TJ Watt.
Who?
Mike Hilton is the most underrated player.
He is.
He may be the most underrated player in the NFL.
I think you're right.
That dude.
All he does is make plays. That's all he does.
He's like 5'8", and he just makes plays.
He's amazing. He's got a knack for the ball, and he's in the middle wherever the ball's at. He's always around there. He just always is. Mm-hmm. Hey, you know who was pretty high on the tackle chart today? Your guy, 34.
Because again, TJ, that just tells me when I see Williamson high on the tackle rate and I see 34 high on the tackle rate, I know that they're making tackles 7 or 8 yards downfield.
I think did Edmonds have a sack today too?
Who? Edmonds?
Did Edmonds have a sack?
He almost had a soul-crushing interception drop that should have been an INT.
I did see that. Yeah.
I mean, you got to catch the ball.
I did
catch the ball. I hate Edmonds.
I know you do. I did see that. That's interesting. And then just real quick. I mean, the defense. I mean, they let up only 3 points in the second half. So their adjustments. I got to tell you this: halftime adjustments today, offense and defense were spectacular.
Halftime adjustments of offense this is probably what happened in the locker room. This is what I picture happening in the locker room. Fisher tried to say something. Ben was like, shut up. Shut up. I'm surprised they didn't lock. I'm surprised somebody didn't take Fitchner, lock him, put him in a locker, and just lock him in the locker. It was like, you're not coming out in the second half. And then you got rocks in the mouth, blah, 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 blah.
From the water boy.
From the water boy. They're probably like, why don't you two just sit here in these lockers and talk to each other? That's probably what happened. The guy that runs the defensive backfield probably took over the defensive call at some point.
Hey, here's one plus of having 2 coordinators like what we have. They're not going anywhere. Who's going to take those wahoos? There's nobody taking that.
I mean, You could tell how bad an offensive coordinator is by the first 15 is. Everybody does it. They script it. First 15. TJ, we haven't been past the 50-yard line in 7 games.
I know. So you know what I do when we bring in our heir apparent? I think
you know
that's
who
the
else
time.
needs to go?
Who?
That offensive line coach.
Oh, he's terrible.
Go.
He's terrible. He's terrible. I'd say when they bring in Ben's heir apparent, when they find him, I think it's a great time to bring in a new offensive coordinator.
Why don't you just have Ben be the guy that teaches them?
He could be. He
No,
could be.
Ben's a
I
jerk.
don't. He could. But our offensive line, we need an offensive line coach too. Let's flop real quick. Let's flop the special teams real quick. What do you think of your guy Barry?
He was serviceable. He's going to be.
He looked good today.
TJ, he's going to have. He's going to have just a back-breaking mistake at some point.
Oh yeah, he will.
He is.
He's an Aussie.
And I will say this
play
too.
loose.
And I will, TJ, paddle hands.
Ebron.
I don't call him that. He doesn't get his name back yet. His name is Paddle Hands. Don't get up after you get a touchdown and start waving at your old sidelines.
Yeah.
That's when a vet, you grab him by the face mask and say, dude, we are the Pittsburgh Steelers. We don't do that type of crap.
I agree.
I'm serious. You don't do that here. It's when Ben, you grab somebody. If I was Ben, I would have grabbed him right by the Coonies. Right in the Coonies. We don't do that here.
Thank God you're not Ben.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you didn't see Juju dancing. He had a killer game. Maybe
right.
A little less TikTok and more focusing.
That's what I'm saying. I think you're right. Hey, what'd you think of that? Did you see that new camera they got out there during the game?
The 8D one?
The 8K, not 8D.
8D? 8K?
8K. An 8K camera. Those guys look like they almost did look like a video game.
I don't want none of that 8K on me.
Tim, they would see everything on you, man. Every nook, every
I do not need none of that on me, man.
No, that's a scary thing. He's like right in your face. Well, I will say this. I will say this too. I mean, I did take one for the team. So are you not shaving now?
What I'm saying is I shaved my beard after the Cincinnati game.
You did. I kept mine.
Remember, because I didn't want to take. I didn't want to take. I mean, I look awful now. I looked real bad.
He did. I can vouch for that. He looked. Let me see. What's the word I'm looking for? White.
Dude, you called me Vader with his mask off.
You did. You look like Vader with the mask off.
It's like one of the most terrifying images ever.
I'm just telling you, the kids when they would be screaming, they'd be terrible.
I mean that is like one of the most terrifying images in cinematic history when Vader takes his hat off. I mean, he's as white as
Tim. He's white as Tim.
And he has a scar coming through his face. I mean, it's all I would have needed.
Well, with that hat on you, that asbestos wire, you'll probably have that soon. Whatever. Say, let's open up the Yinzer mailbag. What is the Yinzer mailbag, you may ask? It's when you, the fan, get to ask the Yinzer brothers anything you want about the Steelers, the show, anything you want at all. If you got any questions, comments, endorsements, you can send them to yinzerbros@gmail.com. By the way, we've had no endorsements yet, Tim.
And guess what? Guess what happened today?
What happened?
That SOB didn't text me throughout the whole entire game. Not one time.
All right.
Not one time. And I'm not even referring to his name as Mush anymore. He's just the SOB.
Well, he did have a few submissions to the Yinzer mailbag. His first was this: what did Tomlin say or do in quarter 3 that turned the offense around? You think he used one of his Tomlinisms? He did share another one today in his post game that I'm struggling to understand. Maybe you could explain this one, Tim. It's this: it's a fine line between drinking wine and squashing grapes. What does that mean, Tim?
TJ, I don't know what they mean. I don't know anything mean. I don't know I didn't know what going into the kitchen, running away from the kitchen meant. When I saw the grape one, I go, what the hell does that mean? Squashing grapes and drinking grapes. All I pictured was my big fat feet crushing grapes with no shirt on.
If any of our listeners has any idea what that means, please email us and tell us what that means, because we have no idea what that means.
I don't know what, TJ, if I was Mike Tomlin, I would trademark every saying and just make T-shirts. He would.
That's right.
I would quit coaching and just do that. He would make a bazillion. I don't know what they mean. They should be a decoder every time they come out and be like, this is what it means. I don't know what they mean.
I agree. Here's another question from Mark. TJ, was Tim always in a foul mood as a kid, or he developed this disposition later in life? Well, I would say Tim, he was a happy-go-lucky kid
Hold on for a second. I'm still trying to wrap my brain around the whole grape thing. Do you have any idea what it means?
I have no. It's a fine line between drinking wine and squashing grapes. I have no idea what that means. I don't know what that means.
It's a fine. I'm just kind of this diagnosis for a second. A fine line between drinking wine and crushing grapes.
So I think maybe what he's trying to say is this. Crushing grapes is the precursor to wine. So they're saying, you're either working on something. There's a fine line between when you're working on something and when it works. That's what I'm gonna guess.
I don't think that's what he meant. I don't think.
I don't know. Well, what do you think he meant? I have no idea what he meant.
I don't know what the hell he meant. I don't know. I don't know. Let's go. I mean, the more I think about it, the more my brain just hurts.
I agree. I think. Did you think he comes up with those before his conferences and stuff like that, or are these just things that just hit him like bolts of lightning?
TJ, if he has can you imagine if you go into his office and he pulls out like a notebook and he has all this crap written down,
It'd be like
he just points at one. He's like, "I'm using the grape one today. I'm gonna use the kitchen one at some point here." They have to hit him, dude. I mean, they have to hit him.
Can you ever can you remember any coach in history that had so many sayings like
TJ, do you think like he goes home and he's talking to little Tomlin and he just like, hey, you got to go in the kitchen, you got to go out the kitchen?
Probably. I think he probably does.
It's a fine line between grapes and crushed wine. I can't even say them right. I can't even get them right. There's no way he does it at the house. Like, so TJ, if you did that at your house all the time, or if I did that at my house all the time, my wife, she would none of my teeth would be in my mouth because she would wrap around and probably kick me at some point with a boot on in my face when I'm not paying attention. I'd be like, "Oh, standard is standard," right in the face.
I think you should try some. I think we should put that to the test. Let's come up with a few that you could just start to. Let's come up with one collective right now, and let's just tease it out to the family and see how they react to it. I think let's use that. I'll just in a few settings just to see how our kids react. It's a fine line between drinking wine and crushing grapes.
I'll never get that saying right. I'll mess it up. I'll be like, there's a fine line between apples and oranges getting crushed. And then the grapes happen in the kitchen and out of the kitchen and in the kitchen.
It's bad. It's bad.
I don't get it.
So, Tim, do you think you were always in a foul, this whole Tim versus the world, it's true. Do you remember being like this the whole time?
No, not the whole time. I mean, it hit me like.
When did it hit you? When did it happen?
I don't know.
Well, we'll think about it. We'll think about it because it's some point.
Like right now, what's going through my mind is like that scene in The Grinch when he's like a little kid and they found out why he's such a jerk as the Grinch. That's what I'm going through my mind right now. Like I'm a green person. I'm sitting in a chair in my classroom. Some girl breaks my heart and I hate the Who's and I want to take all their presents. That's the only thing that goes through my mind. At some point that had to happen. Just like
I think you're probably right. It probably did happen. We'll have to think about when that incident was. How about this one? Is Ben back?
Ben's back, baby.
I mean, let's just be real. He looked bad early, but he pulled it together.
TJ, there was flames coming from that ball.
He looked rough. I don't know. Here's another good question. Can the Steelers be a viable Super Bowl contender without a running game?
No.
So they got so they got to get that running game back on track, right?
Let me put it this way, dude. That Indianapolis team, the least points they put up in the past, I think 7 or 8 games was 26 points. I mean, they were put up 35, 40 points, blah, blah, blah. There's only been one team that's realistically scored. I mean, the Buffalo game, because of the turn, because of TJ, there really hasn't been one team that's put up probably more than 23, like legit, like let us turn the ball over, points in the game.
Mm-hmm.
If you can hold a team in the playoffs to 23 points, and that offense shows up what they did in the second half, yes, they can win without a running game.
I agree.
Do I think it's feasible? No. They're going to, because you, like it was in the end of that game, if the same crap happens in the game, you got that lead, and you can't get that third down conversion to end that game, and you give the ball to Patrick Mahomes, you're going home.
Yeah.
Or you're giving it to Josh Allen, you're going home.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, you're going to need I'm not talking a monstrous running game. You need some sort of a running game.
Mm-hmm. Well, you notice this too, when you hit a couple, deep balls, that actually opened up the running game too.
It did. Because they couldn't put 47 guys. I mean, TJ, I thought I saw me on the screen one time. I'm like, well, how am I in the box?
Tim taking up a lot of the box.
I will say this too. My one buddy who's an Indianapolis Colt fan, which I kind of split the NFL package with, he has the password for my, he watches online and I can watch it here in my box or whatnot. When they were up 21-3 or 21-7, he texted me, I came this close. I mean, when I say this close, I mean this close to changing my passwords, everything. No access to see the game.
That'd been
none whatsoever. But then I said, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to be tight. If there would have been one more text, TJ, it would have been a done deal.
Oh, well, I think that'd probably be a good call.
Did Mark ask again how many throws he's lifting? Mark, he's fine. The arm's fine.
I think he is. Is Tuitt back? He was a force today. I don't think he's back.
TJ, he was a force. He wasn't when you say he was a force, he had an okay game. I don't think he was like he fell into one sack.
Yeah.
I don't think he was a hellraiser.
No, we haven't seen Tuitt yet.
I still think same thing with Vince. I still think Vince, I thought I'd see Vince Williams play a lot more than he did. The COVID is no joke. I mean, those dudes, I like I said, I think it's going to take them hopefully Tuitt after so many times, kind of like getting back to it. I think that's a lot worse than what people think it is coming back from.
I agree, especially he's a big guy too. I mean, it can't be easy.
Dude, he better show up. TJ, if he doesn't show up like monster, we're gonna have issues because
I agree. We're done if we can't. This is good. How soul crushing would it be for the Steelers to knock the Browns out of the playoffs next week?
Dude, just thought about this, TJ. This crossed my brain so many times. Like, is it worth? The reason why I say that is, did you see there's a guy named Sir Yacht from Cleveland, some guys on the web, whatever. He drove all the way from Cleveland to Cincinnati, opened up a can of chili, and ate it outside the stadium right after the Steelers lost to the Bengals, just making fun of thanking the Bengals, blah, 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 all this crap. And I want to be like, that's going to come back to bite you at some point, buddy. That right there is going to come back to bite you at some point. And, when the Steelers are getting beat, I was like, it's going to suck, because you see Cleveland lose. And, when you saw the COVID hit, you're kind of going, you kind of chuckle a little bit. Yeah. And you see the Cleveland fans, why are they bumping back games? Like, sucks. The feeling sucks, doesn't it, right now? When your team gets pounded with the COVID, things suck. And the NFL just doesn't care. It sucks. And I still don't understand how, to me, the Ravens still got a good deal out of this whole thing compared to the Broncos.
They did.
Compared to what Cleveland just had to go through.
Right.
And I really don't think, if you watch that game, Baker sucked.
Yeah.
If they even had those receivers, I don't even think they're going to win that game anyways, truthfully.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is what it is. But to answer your question, it has crossed my mind to just say the hell with it, play everybody, and just go up there and throttle. TJ, if the Steelers have that offense you saw in the second half against Indy's defense is way better than Cleveland's defense.
Oh, yeah, they are.
And they're playing that type. The Steelers may put up 50 points. And nothing would please me more to see like a 50 burger and see the face. I would just want to see spans of everybody, the 6,000 fans in that. They should each one of those 6,000 fans have an 8K camera on them, so I can just see the sadness, like the true sadness, and the crevices in their eyes.
Oh my goodness!
But how much more sweeter would it be if they said, No, could you think we just went up there and beat them with our backups and knocked them out of the playoffs?
I think that's even better.
Seriously, you know what I would do if that happened? If I'm Mason Rudolph and they do that, before I leave that stadium, I'm going out there and I'm taking a leak right on the 50-yard line and saying I'm out of here.
That'd be good. Yeah. So, what do you think the strategy is for next week? Do you think they rest a bunch of guys? What do they do?
again? If Ben's even on if he's on the car ride there, the bus ride there, the plane ride, I'm killing Tomlin. To me, the guys you have to rest is you're resting Ben.
Mm-hmm.
Let James rest.
Yeah.
I would rest. I'd rest Deontay Johnson because to me he is their best receiver. He just is. Get him healthy because he seemed like he kind of bangs up his ankle or whatever the hell it is every week. Let him rest.
Let Cam rest.
You let Cam rest. If TJ Watt is anywhere near that field,
mm-hmm.
I'm killing Mike Tomlin. If he's anywhere near that field, I'm killing Mike Tomlin.
I think you let maybe Hayden rest too. Hayden's not a youngster anymore.
I'd let Hayden go. I think he'll be fine because I think they're stacking. You let Hayden rest, and I probably would let Pouncey rest too.
Yeah, probably
Pouncey or DeCastro, one of the two. Let those guys rest. No, TJ. My main thing, if anybody, if Ben's on that plane ride and TJ Watt, if they even step foot on that field, and one of those dudes get hurt, Tomlin should be fired after the game. He should be.
Yeah.
TJ, you're not moving up. You're not moving down.
No, you're locked. You're
at most. I think you can go. You can get between the second and third seed. That's it. And to me, I want nothing to do with the second seed. Because right now, you're staring at Baltimore right in the face, and they're putting up 100 points a game. There's nothing that I want.
No, there isn't.
I want nothing to do with Baltimore. Let them go to Buffalo. Let those two teams destroy each other.
Yeah.
And if there's a strike and a thunderbolt hits, and that would be another fun one to see the sadness in some of those Buffalo people's faces. See Baltimore beat Buffalo, and then TJ, if you're on a rest for a week, let me put it this way: if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, who would you rather play right now, Buffalo or the Ravens?
If I'm them, I want to play Buffalo. I don't want to play the Ravens.
You're damn right. You are damn right.
The Ravens or Kansas City almost lost today to the Falcons.
TJ, the Ravens are TJ. Their defense is going to get healthy. It's not going to be as bad, but I think they did lose their one corner today. But that's a team, dude. Let them. I would love to see Baltimore have to play Buffalo and then go play KC. Somebody go do our dirty work would make me so happy. I'd be like, yeah. I'd be like, yeah. And then knowing us, you probably lose some bum ass team in the first. Probably lose to the
Miami.
Dolphins.
Miami. You're probably right. No, I think it's good. How about this? Who is the heir apparent to Ben?
No, he's not on the roster. He's not on the roster. He's not. Right. I think if I was them, I think this year is going to be a decent quarterback draft. I'd grab one, man.
Who you get your eye on?
The kid's not going to be there. I would love to get the kid from BYU. But he's not going to be there. But I wouldn't mind getting the kid from Alabama. Get him in the second round.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Second or third round. Right. But, I mean, what happens if Mason just throws for 450 yards?
He could. I mean, he could.
And I'm like, this dude, he's good. No, that's not going to happen. He sucks at football.
You never know. I don't know. I don't know.
It's impossible.
It's interesting. We'll see what they do. Here's a good one. It says, what was your favorite Steeler item given to you as a Christmas present this year? Did you get any Steeler items? I mean, I got this hat. I like it. I like my Yinzer t-shirt too.
I got my Yinzer t-shirt, which I like. What did I get? I actually bought myself something.
What'd you buy yourself, Tim?
That I extremely like. I bought my.
Did you wrap it?
No. I'm a big fan of my tie-dye hat. I like that thing a lot.
Yeah.
And I bought a.
Are you going to get a champion an AFC North?
I can't
t-shirt?
do that, TJ. I like the hat. The hat is pretty fresh. It's basic, but I just can't. TJ. It's a T-shirt and hat game. You guys just start buying T-shirts and hats until it's a Super Bowl T-shirt and hat.
I hear you. I'm with you.
I don't buy AFC North, TJ, because you know what? I expect to win the AFC North.
Yeah, it's like a birthright.
It is. It is. It is. I should get AFC North tattooed somewhere on my.
You should. I
should.
like that. AFC North champs.
So 2020 AFC North champs tattooed somewhere very visibly on my body.
That's so Yinzer right there, baby.
Should do it. I should.
That would be a great Yinzer move.
Yeah.
So here's the last question we have, and it's a good question. We may have answered already. Who do you think the Steelers should play first? Who do we want first in the playoffs?
Who do I want first in the playoffs?
Yeah.
I'm going to either say it's a toss-up between the Dolphins or the stinking Browns. One of the two.
Yeah, Dolphins or Browns.
TJ, the last team I want to see in this, I'd almost rather play Kansas City than the Baltimore Ravens right now.
KC does not look very sharp right now. They just don't. They put up what, 17 points today?
Yeah, dude. It's
Falcons.
It's
the Falcons.
And you know what? Everybody's going to be beating the drums at how great they are. That's what drives me banana land. They've had a lot of close games.
They have.
They've had a lot of close games and a lot of blah, blah, blah. And the Steelers get, we're frauds or this. We are frauds anyways. I mean.
That's true, we are.
I mean, but you talk about the Steelers, we've beaten
every team that you need to beat.
We've beaten some pretty good teams.
We have.
We've beaten probably what? 1, 2, 3. Maybe Cleveland once. We beat Baltimore twice. We beat Tennessee. We beat Indy. We've beaten maybe 4 or 5 playoff teams.
Yeah, we have. The cream of the AFC North, or the AFC just all together. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, we'll see. If this is the thing that sucks is like you almost like with the resting, you want to rest them, you have to rest them, Ben, but you're so scared this little spark they have, if you rest them, they're going to come out looking like crap, and you're like, here we go.
So do you put him in for a series or two and take him out, or what do you do?
No, you don't. He doesn't make the bus ride. You virtually play him. He get him play Madden. Let him do something to get his mind right.
I agree. I think you're right. All right. Well, that does it for the Yinzer mailbag today. Again, if you got any questions or comments, you can email us at yinzerbros@gmail.com and we'll get you on the show. Answer your question. In honor of the holidays, I figured we'd finish up one last round of naughty or nice. This is where we have our little thing of all of our guys that play, and we weigh in if they're doing well or poorly for the Steelers.
My diabetes are on the nice on the naughty list right now.
I know.
I had been woofing chocolate. My wife made this pie. I took one bite of it. I'm not diabetic, and I was getting lethargic.
When you started to get the sweats.
I looked at her, I was like, this may be the meal right here that put me in a diabetic.
I sure would. Okay, the naughty or nice list. Let's start off just fresh. Juju Smith. He had a bad game. Has he moved from the naughty to the nice list, Tim?
If I see this dude dancing on Cleveland, I wouldn't mind him seeing dancing on Cleveland's 50-yard line. But if you just, he moved to the nice list. He did what he needed to do, came out and just did it.
He did. He said everything he needed to say, apologized to everybody, and then he had a good game today.
He had a great game. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm with you. I think he's back on the nice list. How about Highsmith? Naughty or nice?
That dude sucks, man. Again, dude, they brought a dude in, TJ. This Webb, do you remember him playing on Cincinnati?
I do.
TJ, that guy, he's on his 15th team. TJ, you could have set up one of them orange cones. You're like, go at it. That dude sucks.
So naughty or nice?
I'll tell you right now, dude. If the Colts got to throw that dude out there,
yeah,
if I was them, I would not even want to make the playoffs because that dude, he's like He's like the Festivus pole. He just sits there.
He does. He's bad.
Did you see some of the move? But dude, he made like Highsmith was looking like he looked like a first ballot Hall of Famer. He was doing spins.
He did.
He did a couple karate chops.
He looked good.
I mean, the dude looked, he was moving like, and he was like he was in the Matrix, and the guy was just like walking.
He looked bad. He did. Webb. So is he on your naughty list
He
then?
is still on my naughty. Dude's not good at football. I mean, if you put it this way, I think if you would have put Cassius Clay at the end against that Webb dude, Cassius Clay would have probably jumped over him. Did something.
I'll put him on a nice list. I think he had a good game today. How about touchdown Betty Snell?
He sucked.
He was bad.
I mean, I feel bad. He stunk. But I mean, then again, he can't. You can't run when. I mean, dude, Villanueva looked like he was on skates today.
He did.
I mean,
he looked bad.
I just go, dude. You feel bad for Benny, but it's like, I mean, it's partially not his fault. The line was so bad being in that game, man.
They were. So I'm gonna say naughty. I'm with you. How about Tuitt? Stephon Tuitt.
He's still on my naughty list, dude. Dude, a half O doesn't make me switch on him. He needs to be TJ. He needs to be a hellraiser he needs to be on Tuitt's level every game.
He does. I still not. He's been on the naughty list since he was running his mouth against the, all the JV. We're playing against the JVers. You guys got to get this done, and he's done nothing.
It's easy to be running your mouth when your lungs are filled with blacking out.
That's true.
COVID.
That's true. How about James Conner? Naughty or nice?
I thought he was gutty today. I think he played well. He had a couple huge catches, conversions.
He did.
He did. He had a nice run up the gut for like 25 yards.
He did.
I mean, I think put him back on the nice list. I thought he played pretty well today.
I am too. I think he gutted it out. And I think he did give them a spark. He looked decent. Mm-hmm. Benny just doesn't look like he's going to fight for that yard, but Connor will. So I'm impressed with that. How about your buddy Avery Williamson? Naughty
TJ,
or nice?
Again, I get he's stuffing stats. You're seeing 15 tackles a game. Those tackles are coming 7, 8, 9 yards down for what he's chasing people down. I don't think that dude's any good. I said at the beginning, when I make the statement that this guy stinks in the first half, and I was like, 51 sucks. I think I made that same exact statement in the second half. The 51 sucks. I go, this guy sucks. And I think I made the statement too. I told my brother that anybody from the Jets suck. To me, I don't know. His stats look great, but I think those are there's more than meets the eye to those stats. I mean, TJ, I can get 15 tackles if I'm jumping on guys 10 yards down the field.
Hey, we just need to get the mighty Spillane back.
Dude,
do you ever think you're gonna? I mean, I think before the year's out, you may have a jersey.
He's still going to do something that's just going to crush my soul.
I'm going to put Williamson. I'm putting him on the nice list. I think he's doing great. How about Big Ben? Naughty or nice?
Oh, Ben is so far on the nice list right now, TJ.
Wasn't looking so good in the beginning, though, did he?
He was not looking good in the beginning. And then he just said, hey, Fitchner, this is the way it's going to be done.
It's very Rocky Balboa like, he gets his game back on. I'm just going to tire himself out.
It's almost like he's doing it to prove a point, to be like, Fitcher, you're as stupid as everybody says you are. We're going to run your plays until I start writing the plays in the dirt. And here we go.
He does great. How about your guy? How about Jordan Berry? Naughty or nice?
I thought he was good today. I thought he was fine. I thought he was serviceable. I'm going to put him on the nice list.
Yeah, he didn't have any blunders that
I'm going to I also put the breakable man on the shatter guy.
The nice.
He looks like Hangman, like the guy you be making to make the game Hangman. That's his frame.
So what are his specs? Do you know how big he is?
TJ, he can't be more than like. I mean, did you see these two kickers today?
They were teaming.
Did you see Indy's kicker?
Yeah.
Indy's kicker.
What was his name again? He had a crazy name.
I don't know. He looked like Lucas. Their kicker looked like Lucas. Our kicker looked like, I mean, I don't, dude. He looked like he just made a fresh TikTok. like I don't know what dude, that kid looked like he was 12 years old. Like
He did.
can you imagine him getting dressed in the he probably gets dressed in the bathroom stall dressed in front of those grown men. That's what I would do if I was that little. I'd be like, no, or I'd wait till everybody leaves. Like everybody's showering before he goes in the shower.
Dude, he doesn't look like he can't be more than $160. Maybe.
TJ, when you can't tell me when they were like, well, they put that graphic line up, the line you got to get to kick a field goal, going, that line is not right. I was expecting his line to be around the 10 to 15 yard.
Yeah.
I'd be like, well, there's his line.
Did you hear like the sideline reporter lady? She was saying when they were talking about him getting into field goal range, she was like, yeah, he did not look good in the game. When have you ever heard that? They're always like, yeah, he was kicking some good balls. She was like, yeah, he looked bad. He looked terrible.
I mean, but this doesn't make any sense to me. He's like, they're keeping him on they can't just go out and grab somebody else. Like,
you think they could?
I'd rather have Jeff Reed's old crazy beating up. What are those things in the bathrooms of gas station? He gets me nervous, man. I think he can't. TJ, they can't have him kicking playoffs. TJ, he's going to rip my heart right out of my chest, and he's gonna kick it 15 yards.
Maybe. What happened to Schweezem? Is he still in the league?
I think he's like he helps the kickers bring his old ass out there. I mean, seriously, every time my dude was like kicking a field, I thought his leg was gonna shatter. I was like, it's gonna shatter, it's gonna break right now.
We need a guy like Gary Anderson again. Gary Anderson kicked for like 92 years.
TJ, they can't have that dude kicking the playoffs. TJ.
I know.
They can't not have that guy kicking the playoffs.
You got to rest Boswell, so you know you're going to see him again this week.
I don't care if you see him this week, but TJ, come playoff times, he cannot kick in the playoffs. Can you imagine if he had a pressure kick?
Oh, no, I can't. I can't.
I mean, TJ, they probably did get his uniform stuff from the Pee-wees over there in Monroe.
Probably. those baby gators, probably the baby gators in Monroeville.
And I heard something like he's a smart dude too. I think he's like they said he from some school like rocket science. I'm going.
He's like Dobbs.
I don't care how smart you are, dude. That dude, he's gonna rip my heart. If he's kicking the playoffs, at some point he's gonna rip my heart out, and he's gonna take it and he's gonna kick it 10 yards.
Probably.
Dude, he can't. It would drive me nuts about that dude too. You can't have him kicking off. TJ, no. Did you see where he kicked off?
He was touching the 10, 15.
TJ, they didn't have to move, and their starting field position was at the 20, 15, 20. Can't have that, buddy.
No, you can't.
I'd rather see him onside kick it the whole time and do that crap. I'm kind of going, because if you haven't noticed, there's special teams. I'm having hold my breath moments every game going.
They look great early on, but now they're not looking as sharp.
Besides the catch Clay play, I mean, that dude came out of nowhere. He Jimmy Fly snookered somebody out of nowhere.
So is he your new favorite guy now? All the tats and everything?
I don't know, man. I mean, he has no degree of anything for his body. He's almost like a spleen. The dude, it looked like he jumped off the top rope and came down with an elbow.
You're right. Hey, did you see who else was playing today? Derek Watt. I thought we wouldn't see him for 2 weeks. He was on special teams today.
Those Watts are tough, man.
They are.
I would love to have the other Watts. Have all 3 Watts there. If I had all 3 Watts on Steelers at one point, the first thing if I'm the Steelers, what I would do, I put like 3 Subways somewhere in that stadium. You make so much money.
That's true. Their Subway commercials are great.
The stupid Yinzers would be lining up at the Subway place.
I'd be there. I think it'd be great. How about this? Naughty or nice? Keith Butler.
TJ again, non-commitment because he is a human shield for Mike Tomlin. That's why Mike Tomlin's job will always be safe here, because he has 2 idiotic coordinators that he could fire and blame stuff at any time. So Mike Tomlin has a free pass unless he does something. I mean, just arguably just like, I don't know, you're in the 4th quarter and you're up like 47 points and you still have Ben in the game, and it's like the AFC title game. Oh, if he ever did that, I'd kill him. I'd kill him. But you're always going to have, but even then, I still think Tomlin can deflect it and say, hey, that was Randy Fitcher's call, and he's fired, and you save your job for another 5 years.
Maybe.
He's got 10 years. So he basically has 10 years of job fulfillment, even from here on out. Because 5 years, you fire Butler, you give yourself 5 years another D quarter, you got 5 years of Fitcher. So you'll never see those two fired at the same time.
That's true. He's smart. Okay. Well, the Steelers have the Browns next. Again, look for the pregame podcast this week, dropping this week. Hey, you know what? Anytime the Steelers win, I get to watch football again all week, and it's a good week, Tim. It'll be a happy week.
I'm so happy. Like I can listen to TV tomorrow, listen to podcasts.
It's a big deal.
I can just breathe. It's so nice.
It is.
I'm off all week. It's just I cannot be. I can play with my daughter. I can do all types of stuff. I can high five my wife.
That's right.
All types of stuff. It's gonna be a glorious week.
It's a good week. So, Tim, anything you want to add about the game today?
No, I mean I'm happy. I mean, like I said, it is what it is. You know, the only thing that would have made me more happier is to somehow see the Chicago Bears get their hearts ripped out, but they didn't, which is fine. But
Trubisky's playing good ball.
That's what I was going to break up, because I think it's going to make me, in the long run, it's going to make my joyness even more profound, because the Bears are going to sign him for like 3 years, 4 years at a large contract. So all the Bears fans are going to be miserable for the next like 3 or 4 years. And they completely say, this dude is an absolute fraud, and we gave him $100 million. It's going to be glorious.
Let me ask you a question. Would you think this?
No, TJ, don't you say his name coming to Steelers. Tell Trubisky?
No.
Okay, who?
I wouldn't want him. What would your thoughts be about maybe somebody like a Carson Wentz coming?
I'd sign him up in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh man, he sucked though, man, so bad. I think to me, if you know my gut opinion, I know he was bad. He was an MVP at one point, whatever. I think the one guy that he wouldn't come and complain to back up for a year or two would be Ben. And I don't think Ben, you could tell Ben and Mason are just not, he's more, it seems like talkie with Dobbs or guys he knows are never going to take his job.
Yeah.
But I think he has a lot of stuff that's in common with Carson Wentz.
He does.
The hunting stuff, the religious, everything. I think Ben would be open to him.
Yeah.
And I think if he can learn from Ben, because everybody said when he had his MVP years or he was coming out, the closest comparison was Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
I just don't think they can take that contract on, TJ.
No, that's a lot of money.
To me, it's one of those things where I don't think they can take the contract on. I think it's gonna end up being, TJ. You're gonna have the year you got to pay Ben's ridiculous cap hit. My guess is they'll probably extend him next year, another year or two. You're eventually gonna have to pay Piper at some point for all the years you've been kind of doing that against the cap. They're gonna stink. The Steelers are gonna be bad for a year, like drafted in the top 5. Hopefully you get your quarterback then and take some lumps for a year and you're kind of going that. But I don't ever think the Steelers are going to be that bad, because that defense is still – you got to have TJ Watt. And I know they're going to draft another outside guy. And
they will.
The defense is still going to be fairly young.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of those things. As long as that defense can kind of – it seems like the way that they did that. When they had their Troy Polamalu days, their defense was rock solid, because the offense was that defense was more or less older vets. The offense was young, and then the defense started declining. The offense came up when they got their vets, and they were better. Now the defense is coming back up. Yeah. The offense is going to suck. So I think it's going to kind of go it goes back and forth with that stuff. So
I agree.
I don't know.
I agree. I think you're right.
I wouldn't mind seeing it, but I think the contract is just too.
It's a big deal. They'd have to figure out something. I mean, they can hide some more Ben's money. They can give him money in a signing bonus. They can do all kind of stuff. They can be creative with it, but it'll be a big hit. We'll see. Again, I'm TJ. I'm here with my brother Tim, and we are the Yinzer Bros. Don't forget, if you like what you hear, you like what you see, pass along to your friends, your family, spread the word. Again, We're the Yinzer Bros. Stay classy, Pittsburgh.
We number one out here.
See ya.